To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Reverend Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Sean, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted house, my very haunted house. Been quiet today. Might pick up a little bit with my guest today, and I will get to her ASAP. I know you all tuned in for her anyway, not me. But thank you also very much for tuning in, taking an hour out of your busy Friday evenings to spend with me and my guest. I appreciate it from the heart because I don't have a show without all of you. So let's get right to it. Let's see what's in the prayer urn. Thomas E. from New Jersey. I believe I have relatives that have recently passed, still here in spirit and visitation in my home. Could you please say a prayer to help them move on to where they need to be? Thomas, God bless you, brother. Yes, absolutely, I will do that for you. And you're not alone. I have that too. But I think mine are more in visitation. They're not hanging around. But I will help you out here with a beautiful prayer if I can find it. Yes, I got it right here. All right, everybody, please contribute your own love and light to this prayer for Thomas and his relatives that have passed on and help them get to where they need to be. Just close your eyes, touch your computer screen, and help us out here. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God our Father, your power brings us to birth. Your providence guides our lives. And by your command, we return to dust. I pray for the dead, especially for Thomas's family. May those who have been dear to Thomas in life find a place with you in heaven. Lord, those who die still live in your presence. Their lives change, but do not end. I pray and hope for my family, relatives, and friends, and for all the dead known to you alone. In company with Christ, who died and now lives, may they rejoice in your kingdom, where all our tears are wiped away. Unite us together again as one family to sing your praise forever and forever. Amen. Thomas, may the Holy Spirit enter and intervene in your life and the spiritual presences in your home and help them on to where they need to be. Amen. Okay, the Paranormal Ministry mailbag. Boom. Bobby B. from Kansas. Can you share with us your story why you don't use Ouija boards anymore? Should I just stop using mine or get rid of it? I have had problems, paranormal issues in my home since I used the board here. I'll I'll keep this short and sweet. I don't dislike Ouija boards. I just don't use them anymore. I know that they're an essential tool and they can be used properly by those that know how to use them properly. I don't know how to use them properly, obviously, because the one time I did, I had bad results from it. I recommend that you do your research on the Ouija board and continue to use it if you're comfortable with it. Learn how to open a session properly, close a session properly, what you should or shouldn't do during a Ouija session, and just be careful. But if it was me, I would probably get rid of the board. And I may even throw this question at my guest tonight. This almost sounds like a perfect question right up her alley. Okay, guys, if there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. That's our ministry here in Las Vegas. That's our website. If you go there to the website, keep in mind my wife and I do not charge for our ministry work, helping people with their spiritual issues and their paranormal issues. So if you go there to visit, and you happen to notice the donate button, and if you're able to do so, click on it and send in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and trust me, we'll put it to good use. I am also not only an ordained exorcist, but I am also a certified spiritual advisor. If you're having issues of a spiritual nature, not attached to the paranormal, and you'd like to speak to the Rev about that, there is a place where you can make an appointment to speak with me. But don't leave the website without navigating over to the page called the WSE course/book. You'll find the ghost store there. Lots of cool things to buy, like this awesome throwback Ghost Be Gone cup, hoodies, t-shirts, jackets, Paracon bags, lots of stuff, if you go for that sort of stuff. But scroll down a little bit further, you'll see my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher, but don't let that scare you off of purchasing a copy. Part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada, and the ASPCA. So you get to help the animals a little bit too, and the children that most need our help. You can get the book a little less expensive on Amazon, but if you want an autographed copy enclosed in a house blessing kit, you can get it there off of the website. Scroll a little further down, you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I am a founding member. I am the instructor. I offer a 12-week online college level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, through the WSE. And this is the course for all you true warriors for Christ that feel a calling and a longing to want to have more knowledge when it comes to drawing your line in the sand, making a stand, circling the wagons, putting up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil if it ever comes calling. That's the course for you. All of my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion, suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed gifts that you can only get from yours truly, the Rev. You can enroll right there at the website. If you want more knowledge about the course before making that type of commitment, there is a Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page, or just reach out to me, talk to me about the course. I'll talk to you and see if it's right for you. Most importantly, please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. Thank you very much. Okay, the reason why you all tuned in. What can I say about my guest tonight? A lot, but I'm not going to go through the whole list because I want to get her out here so you guys can meet her. She's a world-renowned, highly gifted psychic medium channel, critically acclaimed author. Everybody loves her that knows her. I'm excited to have her here. Brothers and sisters, without further ado, please welcome to the show, Corbie Mitleid. Corbie, are you with us?
Yes, so is Baron Manfred over here. So it's my
Oh my
14-year-old
gosh.
Maine Coon. Hello,
Oh my
Manfred.
gosh, he is beautiful. You know what? See, remember in the green room I told you we have a lot in common, and that's
Yeah.
right off the bat. I have 13 of those in my front doorstep right now. Can you believe
See,
that?
our house is 864 square feet, so we've got 2 Maine Coons at a rescue, and we are topped up.
We had this
I
cat
love you.
walked up our driveway one day 20 years ago. Uh,
Mhm,
you could fit this cat in the palm of your hand. Walked up out of nowhere. We don't know where it came from. We decided to put a carrier out there without the door on it. A couple of cat beds in there, bowl of water, bowl of food. The cat became
mhm,
beautiful cat. We loved it 11
mhm.
years or so until it got a brain tumor and we had to help her on her way to heaven. But shortly before she left, these 4 adult cats that we had never seen before show up and start hanging out with her. Sort of like they were her friends she must have made in the neighborhood somewhere. They were coming to say
Mhm,
goodbye to her. Then when she
mhm.
finally left, they never left. So my wife brought home 3 more carriers, some more bowls and food out there. These cats adopted us. Then one
Yeah,
disappeared. We
yeah.
thought, well, he or she went back home. We hope
Mhm.
he or she is okay. Well, she showed back up a few weeks later on our doorstep with 8 kittens.
Uh-oh.
Okay. More carriers come home, more bowls of food and water go out there. They've all adopted us. There's 13 of them living in my yard. Haven't seen a mouse or a rat since. Um, and that's life. But I'm a dog man, so I've got my mastiff in the house. They know not to go in
Okay.
the backyard with the mastiff's at. Talk to me, and I wasn't going to ask you this, but you've got this beautiful Maine Coon behind you there, and I know we have a lot
Yeah.
in common. Talk to
Hmm.
me about this spiritual. Well, I also work in the animal care industry most of my adult
Hmm.
life, but talk to me from a psychic medium's perspective. This connection that some people like you and I have with animals and them with us, and why they just always seem to be in our lives.
Well, with me, I always consider Maine Coons are love and comedy and furry porta pack. So I've had Maine Coons for 40 years. But I also talk about what I call second shot souls. And my Maine Coon that I got in 1982, named Oswald, he was with me until 2008, got me through divorce, remarriage, cancer. And we had to give him the final kindness because, I mean, he was in pain. He didn't want to go, but it was like, you're in pain, baby. And we were so close. I mean, my face was swollen with crying the night we had to send him off. That night, I had a dream. He had been down to 10 pounds. He was back up to 20 pounds in the dream. Hale and Artie comes trotting up. And for some reason, I'm in a little rowboat and he hops in, circles like a puppy, and sits. I jackknife out of bed, filled with joy. And the message was very clear. Mom, thank you so much. That body sucked, and I'm so glad to be out of it. I'm coming home again. Watch for me. Okay. So there was a really good animal communicator, and she picked out not only which breeder, but which litter he was going to be in. I said, how am I going to know who he is? She says, he's got it handled. So I walk into the breeder's kitten room, and there are 4 kittens. You don't see heads or tails. They're all sleeping together. And he's going to have the same name. So I just sit about 6 feet away, and I go, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. 3 don't move. One of them head shoots up, looks at me, comes bumbling over to the lap, like, where you been?
Yeah.
We bring him home. He says hello to the other 2 cats that we had when he was in the old body, goes and sleeps under his favorite spot on the bed, eats out of everybody's food dish, and says, I'm home. So he was known as Oswald the Great. He had his own Facebook page. People adored him. But his health was not the best this time. He lived until 18 last time. This time we lost him at 11.
Wow.
But um, the cat that you don't see is the 27-pound Maine Coon named Prawn. He's our Britain kitten who became a New Yorker. They were inseparable for the 3 days between when we found out we had to give Oswald the Great to final kindness because his heart was going to give out badly. And literally, paws always touching. So luckily, our vet, whom we refer to as Uncle Dr. Dave, came, and so Ossie was able to go to sleep, mama singing to him, etc. And we buried him out in the back. We live in the middle of a hayfield in upstate New York. That night, I wasn't thinking about him, nothing. In the place in my head where I hear spirit instead of, I think I heard a very loud, Mom, I'm fine. And I just burst into tears. Gets better. About 3 months later, my husband, who does not have the Wikiboo gene I do, comes upstairs and says, could you come down here and check something? So we go downstairs, and Harley, the rescue that we got, was staring at a spot and scared. Well, I tune in and I say, it's Oswald. And Ossie, when he's out of a body, is like the size of a panther. Looks like a Maine Coon size of a panther. Trotted over to Carl, put the paws on, and went and sat on the bed with me. And I looked at Harley and I said, that's your brother Ossie. Come say hi. And Harley, who is a little ginger ninja, hops right on the bed, ignores me, stares where I know Oswald is. So you can't tell me A, they don't come back, and B, they don't love us, and they don't, if they choose to, stay as one of our guardian spirits. They don't.
That's a beautiful story, and I'm going to share this with you because you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, many, many, many years ago, I'm I look like Braveheart. I'm fully my family tarred and killed, and I'm with my wife out at the Highland Games at this huge
Hmm.
park on the outskirts of town,
Yeah.
and nobody knows who I am. This woman who I didn't know comes walking up to me and says, "Listen, you don't know me, I don't know you, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but trust me. I don't know if you go for this whole psychic thing, but I happen to be a psychic medium, and I've never seen anything like this before. I don't know what she's going to say to
Hmm.
me." She says,
Yeah.
"You have this huge pack of animals following you around in spirit."
Hmm.
And the first thing I thought of was, and I think it's Will Rogers wrote, um, "If there's no dogs in heaven, I want to go where they're at." Um, I'm a dog and more of a dog guy, but I'm also now a dog and a cat guy. But I love that saying. I thought to myself, I really feel that way. They say that everybody's heaven is going to be tailor made for them,
Hmm.
and feel free to comment on this. But that would be my heaven to be with. I can never remember not having an animal my whole life, and that would be heaven for me. Now on the coming back thing, we have no strange cats showing up here, no pregnant females. We
Hmm.
had all of our cats, all the 13 of them out there. We had a
Hmm.
special lady come out and trap them all, took them, got
Hmm.
them spayed, neutered, ears clipped, all their
TNR.
first,
Yes.
yeah, all their first shots, including rabies, and they were brought back and dumped off here again.
Mhm.
The other night, I look out my front window, I go, "Oh no, honey, come here." Sitting on the front porch, just staring at the house, is this little kitten you could fit in the palm of your hand,
Mhm.
identical to the one that we had for the 10 years that went on, except for the other one was all white with eyes like mine. This one's all white, but with just
Mhm.
a black tail, one blue eye, one gray eye. But I believe, and the people think I'm crazy, and I could be, I believe that's my cat. They came
Mhm.
back.
Yes. Don't
Um,
doubt it.
so I don't know. It's just okay. I wasn't going to ask you this either. This is a two-part question. Well, I'm going to give you just
Okay.
part one, and I'll go to part two. Oh
Okay.
my gosh, you mentioned the grieving part. I when my I'm stuck with these cats now, and God bless them. Fine, the yard's yours. Have fun, guys. I'll feed you. I'll give you water, a place to stay. Little carriers under the eave of the home.
Mhm.
But when this mastiff goes, me and my wife moved in here 20 years ago with three mastiffs, and we got three more
Mhm.
after those went. This is the very last one who's already
Mhm.
up there in age. I'm really thinking about this might be it for me
Mhm.
after she goes to heaven because I'm telling you now I've become just this. I cry at TV commercials now, let alone when I have to say goodbye to one of my animals. I am like on the ground rolling around like a blithering idiot speaking in
Mhm.
tongues. It's oh my gosh. Speak to all the people out there as a spiritually gifted person like you are. How do we cope with the grief? Because it's almost even worse than when you lose an actual human family member or a close friend, which is traumatic enough too. But what is it about the losing the animals that is just your life for a moment or two is over?
It's because it's unconditional love. There's no game playing. There's no, you know, transactional. Well, that's not true. They want treats and scritches and nip. But um don't get I'm serious. Do not get an animal unless you are ready to outlive it, and you will without hesitation give it the final kindness when it's time. See, with Oswald, it was there was danger of something called the saddle thrombus. That's when a clot is thrown, the back legs go, and it's agony, and there's no saving him. You have to put him down. So rather than hold on for a couple of months, maybe it won't happen. When we heard that, I said, I will not do that to him. He's tired. Let's let him go now before pain. Did I miss him? Yes. But it's the bargain we make. It's the bargain we make.
Yeah. I'm just part-time now at the animal hospital that I work at. My wife has been the office manager there at the same animal hospital for 20 years. But when I was working there full time for many, 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 many years, I see and feel both sides. We would have people come in
Mhm,
with these animals that now is really the time. But you
mhm,
can't talk an owner into when the time is. But I feel it. Some people
mhm,
come in and they'll flat out tell you, I'm against euthanasia. I'm not going to do it. I'm going, give me what drugs I need to make my loved one comfortable till they just take their last breath on my living room floor. That's how it's going to have to happen because I can't make that decision. So I see and feel both sides, but I am
mhm,
totally I can't see them in pain, and so I am for the euthanasia
mhm.
with the pets when you know that they are in pain and it's just going to get worse. And if you didn't do that, they are going to go out in an excruciating, painful, miserable way that you can't even comprehend. So I
Mhm,
do believe it's the right thing. Um, Now, I think it's interesting that some of them come back in a body and some I
mhm,
think remain in spirit. Sometimes my doggy
mhm,
door flap right there in front of us while we're watching TV will flap open and flap down. My dog on the
mhm.
bed will watch something walk across the room, wag its
Yep.
tail, lay back down. We had this one huge mastiff named Henry that his
Mhm.
thing to say good morning to my wife would be wait until she's had breakfast, had her shower, she's doing her makeup, sneak into the bathroom, and he would just stick his nose in her butt and launch her. And that's how he said, and that still happens to her all the time.
That's
Why do you
funny.
think some come back just in spirit and some make sure they come back in a body?
They're not done being our peculiars. I don't call them familiars. I call them peculiars. There are hearts partners, and Ossie said very clearly, two bodies was fine, but now I want to go play. And he knew that Prawn, the guy that is our big guy now, he had given him full instructions. He nicknamed Prawn the High Commander. So there you go. Now you said that you have a ton of questions that you want to deal with tonight.
You know what? I'm going.
What?
I'll start going down the list. I know there's no way we're going to get through all of them, and I just want to make sure you have
Let's
fun.
rock and
And I'm going
roll.
to want you to come back. Um, some some call it source energy. Some call it source knowledge. This person wants to know describe what your source is and how you tap into it. Is it God? That's a great question.
What's the name of the person that's
I did
asking
not
this?
write
Just
that
first name.
down. I did not write that
All
down.
right. Listen to me, darling listener. Okay. What you're asking, what do I see as God, is like you bring an ant into a calculus class. Not only does his little pea brain not comprehend what's on the blackboard, he can't even hold a pencil in his little paw. Okay. There is, to me, a singular eminent point. I believe that core is love and compassion. I do not believe that God does grishes. What's a grish? It's a great Yiddish word. It means you stick the knife in and you twist it to make sure it's really good. God doesn't do grishes. He does not, he, she, it, they do not make everything happen. I know the Bible thing about even a sparrow falls and God sees, but you know,
Mhm.
we wouldn't learn that way. There's an interesting thing. I'm a past life specialist because of the work I did with Robert Schwartz. And very often, people that I will refer to as Bible thumpers, it's the Bible and nothing else. They say,
Mhm.
well, God says we only live once, so you're wrong. I go, no, you're right. And this is why. The soul is what reincarnates time and time and time again. The Rev, me, one and done. This particular recipe will not be down here again. And this recipe is learning to use free will. So, how can you have a pre birth plan and free will? Same way you would go to college. You decide you're going to be a physics major. Great. No matter what you do, you're going to graduate with a physics degree. But how you get there, you can either take gut courses or double major plus lab. Gut courses is you figure out what you're meant to do down here and you just do it. Double major plus lab is you get stupid and you keep making the same mistakes. Now, that's how I went until I finally figured things out. But either way, you're going to graduate with that physics degree. You're going to graduate with the knowledge that your higher self, your soul said, this is what I want to learn this time. And I am encapsulating a part of me in this personality body, and it will learn. And the way to think about it, let's take the actor Matt Smith. Okay. Matt was the 11th Doctor on Doctor Who. He's my doctor, the crazy best friend with the too short pants and the bow tie. But when Matt Smith was done being the Doctor, he then turned around and became Prince Philip for the first 2 seasons of The Crown. Totally different person. Matt Smith is like your soul. The Doctor and the Prince are incarnations. The soul comes back, but the incarnations are one and done. See how that works?
Yeah. Very interesting.
So,
do we have a choice? Do you think we have a choice, or can we just stay in spirit and travel the universe and see other worlds?
The soul, yeah, remember, we aren't the choice makers. What part of us is soul? Well, I often use my father as an example. He was my best friend. And sometimes he was also a fabulous cardiologist. So when I do medical intuitive, sometimes Dad comes in. What comes down with him? His terrible ability to pun, his compassion, his incisive medical knowledge. What is no longer part of the package? His depression, his anxiety, and his hypochondria. Okay. So the more loving, positive, compassionate we are, that's our soul bleeding through. When we get stupid and nasty, that's the personality. And that gets hung up in the closet when we're out of here.
Interesting. Good thing. Okay, what do we got here? Where do angels and spirit guides fit into source?
You think you're smart enough to get it done on your own? No.
I've seen my guard. Well, you know what? If you have to, if you have a feeling, something you want to say to me about this, I welcome it. But I've seen this girl, and she looks like 3 times if I hadn't seen her, I probably would have died. So I credit her with saving my life 3 times. She looks like a young Susan Sarandon, like from early Rocky Horror Picture Time. And I've had gifted spiritual people such as yourself. Some tell me that she was a guardian angel, or she is my guardian angel, one of many. Some refer to her as a spirit guide. Some think they're one and the same. Some think they're different. Address the angel spirit guide topic and their purpose and meaning.
All right. Do y'all remember Venn diagrams in math? That's the 2 circles, and you had the little piece in the middle that met. Well, the Venn diagram for spirit guides and angels is a donut, and the angels are in the middle. All angels are spirit guides, but not all spirit guides are angels. Angels, we all have at least one. They're with us from birth to death. They have our names in the back of their tunics like little camp tags. I belong to Sean. Okay.
Yeah.
Spirit guides grow and change as we do. You don't have the same teacher from kindergarten to PhD. My original spirit guides were people that I flew with. Are you done? Excuse me. Are you done? They were people I flew with 2 lives ago, 100 years ago in World War I. Since then, I mean, I still have contact with them. There's still a great deal of affection. But the guide I work with now is Baruchiel, who happens to be my own guardian angel, higher vibe. So spirit guides can be dead people, ETs, animal guides, avatars, energy signatures. Depends on who you need and what you're learning. So they are teachers, but please do not ask your spirit guide, should I buy the red car or the blue car? That's not what they're here for. They're here to help you grow spiritually. And don't ask them for the lottery numbers. You know, when somebody says, Corbie, can I have the lottery numbers? I look and say, me first. And anyway, if your psychic isn't at least driving a Lexus, how do you know that now? I know about angels because 2002, black ice under snow, upstate New York road, deserted. Took down a tree, a telephone pole, flipped the car, electrical wires all over it, wasn't wearing a seatbelt, walked out with a couple of bruises. At no time did I feel like I was going to die. It felt like an e-ticket at Disney. That had to be an angel driving that car.
Oh yeah.
And it made it very clear that I was supposed to be doing this work full time. I was not done.
See, there's
So,
another thing you and I have in common. One of the three situations was back in the many many years ago. I was a raging
mhm,
alcoholic and drug addict. So one of these nights, 2 o'clock in the morning, on my way home from a party, when I shouldn't have been driving. I guess I was swerving so bad on the freeway that a highway patrolman was just about to light me up, and it probably would have been better had he had time to do that. But I fell asleep at the wheel and
mhm,
apparently turned right, and I went across all of the lanes of the freeway, and I was going to go off this cliff,
mhm,
according to him. And then what woke me up was somebody yelling to me, sitting right next to me, "Wake up." And when I bobbed my head up, there was Susan Sarandon. I looked forward, saw the cliff, fish-tailed back over
mhm.
it, and I remember I was going to hit the center concrete divider. But that's all I remember. And I woke up a few days later in the hospital with just a broken wrist. But when I see pictures of the truck, it's like the engines where I was sitting, the roof is down on top of the engine, and they
Mhm.
had to cut me out with the jaws of life. How did I survive that and only get a broken wrist? So
You weren't done.
yeah, when we pass, let's say
Mhm.
you have a family that you're still just so in love with, you love them more than life itself, and you just aren't ready to let go yet. Maybe you built this beautiful home and you had a great life, and you want to go to heaven, and you're going to go to heaven, but there's still some things you want to watch over here. Can you make a decision to come back and be a guardian angel or a spirit guide to
Yeah,
family members you left behind?
you can. But the other thing I want to remind you, I'm going to use an audiovisual aid. Okay. This is your soul, way too big to fit in these little bitty bodies. So a lot of your soul is always up there. You don't lose your family. You just connect up there with all the part of them that's there. And, people say, are my, loved ones always watching over me? No, guys, they're not. Because when we go upstairs and we're coming down the plank of the cruise ship, you not only have the souls of the people that are part of your life this time, but you've got everyone else you've ever lived with in every other incarnation. That's a lot of partying.
Yeah.
So it's like you may adore your high school English teacher, but you don't always go back and talk to them. You grow past. You love them, you thank them, but you don't always go back and sit in that seat in high school.
What do you tell people when they have had these? Like, I speak to so many people that or have survived near death experiences. I always call them death experiences because they actually were pronounced dead and somehow they were brought back. And they all describe having seen heaven, even seen loved ones that have gone on before, beckoning them, come, come,
Hmm.
and how beautiful it is, and this
Hmm.
feeling that's so a feeling they can't even describe, that they're almost mad when they're sent back. Like if they're told it's not your time and they're sent back, they're almost mad that they're sent back. They love life, they love being alive and that they're back, but there's a part of them that's mad that they were sent back. What do you what do you tell people when they say that?
Darling, you're not done. There is still stuff you have to do. You can't not come back when there's stuff to do. Okay. So that's how important you are to somebody down here. Roll up your sleeves. You will get there eventually.
And when you say that, it's a dagger to the heart to think about like these mass shootings when these children when are killed. I mean, they have these are souls that are coming back. Um,
And they are also, remember, the soul agreed to have this happen because maybe this is what we need to wake things up.
hmm. How evil does a person have to be to commit something like that? Like I was just watching something on the news the other day about that. And can you just to be the person that walks into a school with a weapon and to just start killing children? I can't even fathom that evil. And I've come face to face with evil a lot. And that's you know, that's on a different level there.
That's not the soul, that's the personality that got twisted, I think. That when we are so detached from God, as that kid was, we have no anchor point of light to turn us away from that. See what I'm saying on that one, Sean?
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to pray for everybody. When he's taken out by the cops, you want to pray for his soul. Um, well, I wonder what that conversation is like with God, with him after that.
From what I understand, when you do your life review, all the good things that you've done, you get to feel what the other person felt that had all those nice things or kind things done for them. That person is going to have to go through minutely the death of every single one of those children and teachers as if it is him dying over and over and over again. That, my friend, is hell.
Yeah.
That's what hell is.
Hmm. Oh, this is a good question. And I didn't write anybody's name down.
Mm-hmm.
They know whose questions they are. Spirit guide conferences. And I saw that on your website too. You got a wonderful
Mm-hmm.
website. Let me make sure everybody knows your
Thank you.
website here. Well, I go to CORBIE oneword.com.
Mitleid.
Mitleid, sorry,
Mitleid.
excuse me.
Yes.
I
Sorry.
also love the Facebook page, Corbie Mitleid, Psychic at Fire Through Spirit. Wonderful
Mm-hmm.
Facebook page.
Thank you.
Um, I saw the term Spirit Guide Conferences. I love that. What is that?
Very simple. Um, when I get your guide, if you're in a one-on-one with me, you get to talk to them. You get to ask them questions. Sometimes they'll come in with accents. Sometimes they'll come in um, with personalities. And it's like when I do dead people, I do not just go, oh, I see a woman handing you a rose. She loves you. It's your grandmother. Can I vomit now? What does that tell you?
Yeah, nothing.
I do the dog tags. For instance, my father, Jerome Richard Dorkin, who died in 2001 at the age of 80. Notice that tells me nothing, but it gets me into the energy right away. And my guides have chosen to play charades with me. I don't know why, but I just put my hands out to catch the energy. I find I do this. If they smoked, this was an accident. This means they were either intubated on oxygen or having trouble breathing. Sometimes, and there are gestures and there are comments. But this is why I will not do mediumship in a public space. Um, I'll tell you the PG version. There was a biracial same gender couple. The black partner had died and her white widow wanted to speak to her. Now, see this face? Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Nice suburban kid. What comes out of my mouth in flawless urban ebonics, I am not going to say on this radio station because it was full of expletives and obscenities. And I let it out because I don't block. And I go, and the woman in front of me was laughing and nodding because that particular couple of sentences is how her partner Isabel walked into the house after every business trip. Now, this is why an intuitive can't have an ego, because your ego would say, oh my God, I can't say that. And you would muck it up or you
Yeah.
would deflect it and she wouldn't have had the proof. So that's how I work with dead people. Remember, please, we're not dial-a-dead. If Aunt Rose is on a field trip up there, she may not be by the phone. Doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Doesn't mean I'm not good. She's just not available right now.
I know in the green room you had said, and I'm going to honor this, you didn't want to get
Mm-hmm.
too much into talking about your religious belief system and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of friends who are witches. And
Mm-hmm.
I've met some bad priests. I've met some
Hmm.
bad witches.
Hmm.
I've met many, many more wonderful priests, many, many more wonderful witches that they're the way they go about being a witch is so much different than the way the what I would call a bad witch goes about doing the thing,
Hmm.
doing their
Hmm.
thing, perverting
Yep.
their belief system into doing ugly things.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you call yourself a witch or not. I don't know, but
No.
defend witches. When someone comes to you and accuses you of being a witch or says all witches are bad, how do you defend that?
Well, I giggle, and then when it's one on one, I tell them what my religion is, and they go, "Oh, okay." Um, you know, grew up a nice Jewish kid. Yeah. Um,
I just recently met the most wonderful rabbi, um, not a Hasidic. Who are the Jewish rabbis that believe in Jesus Christ, that he was the
oh,
Son of God?
those are Jews for Jesus,
Messianic,
and
messianic.
yes, yes.
Interesting. One of the most interesting individuals I ever had the pleasure to meet and actually work a case with. Incredible
Hmm.
individual. Yeah. I never
So,
got the nerve up to ask him about the long sideburns. I loved that.
oh,
I
the
never
payasses.
Yeah, I never had
Yeah.
the I should have asked him, but I didn't.
As far as witches go, like anybody else, you can have Christians that are true Christians. Well, you see, I divide Christians into two types. You have Christianity and churchianity. Okay. Churchianity are the ones that cherry pick the Bible and make sure that they get what they want, even if this is not what Jesus said. You know, and I'm sorry, someone like Joel Osteen, yeah, maybe he's got a mega church, but when it was flooding in Houston, he wouldn't allow anybody in his church to use it. He didn't want to get it dirty. That's no Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. That's churchianity. Um, the whole point of Christianity: love, compassion, service, forgiveness. Churchianity is our aura don't stink. God loves us, but he doesn't love you unless you come through me and give me money. Don't get me started.
Yeah, that's true.
Witches, they can be good or bad too. Depends on, do they use their abilities to heal, to comfort, to bring the world into alignment, to live well with Gaia? Cool. Who am I to judge? Who died
Yeah.
and made me God? Nobody.
I try my best not to. I've gotten, I've gotten way better at that
Hmm.
than I used to be. The whole judging
Yes.
thing.
Hmm.
I've even worked with some indigenous holy people. Have you had many experiences, good or bad, with any indigenous
One
holy
of
people?
Yes, one of my longtime friends is Ted Silverhand, who is a very respected Tuscarora seer.
Yeah,
So yeah.
where you live. I understand is indigenous country.
Yes, Six Nations is up here.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, the Iroquois Confederacy. In fact, my husband for 23 years was the museum director at an 8 building Revolutionary War site. So there was a lot of Revolutionary War in the Confederacy, and which Indians fought with the Tories, and et cetera, et cetera. So yes, a lot of that energy up here.
Which brings me to another personal question before I get back to the list.
Hmm.
My wife and I just started a new series on, I
Hmm.
believe it was AMC last night called Dark Winds. Did you catch
Hmm.
that?
I've heard it's on my list. It's on my
It
list, but
we
when you work 6 days a week, you
uh,
kind of have to parcel it out.
yeah.
Forgive me, but Star Trek Strange New Worlds comes first. Then we go to Dark
I'm
Winds.
a Trekkie too. We have a lot in common, but we liked this show so far. We usually wait 2 or 3 episodes before we give our stamp of
Mhm.
approval, but so far we enjoyed the premiere episode last night. It all takes place out on Navajo land and outside of
Mhm.
Gallup, so
Okay.
New Mexico. So it's all about um, the that whole world, which is kind of cool. Okay, next question. Speaking with one's soul or
Mhm,
higher self.
mhm,
Uh, okay. Speaking with someone's, oh, that's right. Someone saw on your website that you
mhm.
speak with someone's soul or their higher self. I
Yep.
do find that very interesting. How is that work? Like you
I
have a
have no
soul.
idea. You do. I mean, look,
Yeah.
remember, if this is your soul and it's in the incarnation, of course you can, the personality part of you can speak to the soul. I had no idea I could do that until Robert Schwartz asked me to do it, working on your soul's plan. So I just know it's, in a way, it's not a lot different from speaking to guardian angels and spirit guides, but it really takes a lot of deep trance work for me to get there. It's one of the reasons when I do soul plane readings, I'll do 2 a month, because the next, these are life challenges. Why are these things happening? Why did I come in with abandonment issues? Why am I parenting handicapped children? Why did I get engaged and then my fiance died a month later? Things like that. And it takes me about 12 hours
Wow.
at the desk, 6 in the morning, deep trance meditation, looking at the Akashic records, bringing down past lives in detail, and then an hour on the phone that night with the client telling them what they found. And this, how do you know what gifts you've got? That's a big question for a lot of people. When I tell them is, when spirit taps you on the shoulder and says, hello, you're working for me, hand you your draft notice. Spirit goes rifling in your file cabinet to see what you got. What do I have? Theater major at Brown University, professional actress in New York in the 80s and 90s. I know character arcs. Words are my drug of choice. I'm a writer. I can tell stories. And I have loved history since I was a little kid in single digits. You put all that together, and reading tarot or oracle cards is easy for me because I could weave the story. And I'm a past life specialist because you could show this, give the same vision to me and another person who's good. But if they don't have the historical background, they'll go, well, you're in a long skirt and a big hat, so I know it's old fashioned and there's an ornate building behind you. I could see the same vision and go, okay, that's a hobble skirt. Picture hat, that kind of ostrich feather, and you're in front of the Brandenburg Gate. That has to be Berlin in 1911. Which one's going to give you more information? On the other hand, do not ask me for spirit art because I cannot draw a stick figure with a sharp pencil and a lot of prayer. Not my thing.
Yeah. Why do you feel it, if you feel that it's important that we do past life regression?
There's
If
regression
it's
and
our
retrieval.
well,
It's
our
different.
life right now is so different than what we may have done in the past. What do we benefit from knowing that?
Two quick things. A woman came to me and said, I'm really worried about my son. He's 29. He still won't make any decisions without my input. He won't live more than a mile from me. What is going on? And I said, let me go upstairs and check. And I went and I said, okay, it's 1944. It's Utah Beach. I see your son. He's got shrapnel in his leg. So this is D-Day. You're his commanding officer. I see you pulling him over one of the dunes. You take some shrapnel too, but you both get out of there and you both live. She looks at me and she says, you see my rank? I said, yeah, you're a sergeant. She goes, he's called me sergeant since he was 3 years old and we never knew where that came from. Number two, little corn-fed girl from Des Moines, Iowa, always fascinated by the Civil War. There's no connection in her family at all. Went upstairs. Okay. There is a whitewashed room with a low ceiling. There are two very tall gentlemen standing there. Literally, their heads are bent over because they're too tall. You are kneeling by the bed. The dress looks like about 1862 or 3. It's gray. It's got the black soutache braid around the peplum and the sleeves. There is a rickety iron bed, and there is a very wizened old black woman in the bed, and she's dying, and you're all grieving because she came from a Mississippi plantation and she was almost to the end of the Underground Railroad to freedom, and she was dying and she wasn't going to make it. And I opened my eyes, and the woman has tears pouring down her face. She says, that is the exact dream I have had for 20 years. I'm just the tool, baby. It ain't me. But now she understands where that came from. She was that woman. And that is why, for her now, she had to know about civil rights. She is someone who works for equality, but she's always afraid that it won't be enough. Now you know why.
Yeah. Wow. That's an incredible story. I'm going to ask you something you probably in your wildest dreams, well, you probably already know what I'm going to ask you, but probably in your wildest dreams didn't expect me to ask you this. And I don't even know why I'm going to ask you this. I thought about you last night. I'm watching this show because I've been involved in the paranormal since I was 10. I
Hmm.
love it all. And I also happen to know up in your neck of the woods, Bigfoots
Hmm.
uh, are up there. And I'm a big time Bigfoot believer. And I'm watching this Bigfoot show. And I know psychics who have gone out and psychically connected with this creature. And the first show I've ever seen where they had actually brought a psychic who was trained in remote viewing. And then they did a little thing about how that was the government was all behind that back in the Carter days.
Hmm.
And I thought about you and I wanted to know if you do any remote viewing and whether you did or didn't. What's your take on a psychic going out there to communicating with some don't believe in him, but the creature Sasquatch.
Remote viewing is not in my wheelhouse. And who am I to tell them no?
Yeah.
Go and party. Go talk to the alligator god. I don't care.
Have you ever seen a Bigfoot?
No. Though if you've ever seen a Maine Coon paw, that's pretty big, but that's about as close as you get.
What do you think? What's your take on the whole Bigfoot thing as a spiritual person and a very highly gifted psychic medium channel? Have you ever gotten any vibes from the existence of a creature like that in your neck of the woods?
No, but remember, science is magic that works. In the Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court, the guy time travels and brings a box of matches. Now, we know how matches work, but they were convinced it was sorcery. So there may be a reason that Bigfoot is here. Someday we may find the Loch Ness monster. We may find the Incredible Hulk. We don't know. Go look. There is nothing wrong with looking. Never.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, what do I got next for you here? Oh, I asked you that. Somebody asked how important is past life knowledge. I already asked you that.
Yeah. You know
Okay,
what? I'm going to pop in here.
sure.
Remember what you talked about way in the beginning, and that's Ouija boards?
Yes.
I
Oh,
have
please
thoughts
do.
on Ouija boards.
Please do
All
because
right.
my wife and I
Ouija
work. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ouija boards can be useful. I mean, Jane Roberts got Seth, Pat Rodegas got Emmanuel, Esther Hicks got Abraham with a Ouija board. But I have had to handle two gibbering hysterical teenagers who, because they did no grounding, centering, and shielding and put their hands on the planchette and said, "Who's there?" all of a sudden spelled backwards very fast was, "I have an axe and I'm here to kill you." Trust me, it's not their Uncle Danny.
Yeah.
Now, a Ouija board is a tool, like tarot cards and a crystal ball. But it's in the toy department, so people think it's harmless. And when I hear that, it's usually at a lecture I'm doing at a psych expo. I say, "Okay, who here has a kid or a grandchild under 10?" Bunch of hands go up. You. How old? 8. What's his name? Joshy. Okay, fine. Joshy comes to you and says, Grandma, I got all A's on my report card. You promised we could go to the toy department and I could get a new toy. This is the one everybody has. I want one." And he drags you over to a box that says, "My first chainsaw." It's in the toy department. You gonna let him play with it by himself? I don't think so. So I'm not keen on Ouija boards because they really are, in a sense, throwing open your door in a strange neighborhood and yelling free beer. You do not know what's out there, but they heard you and they're coming. And frankly, because of the energy that is around Ouija boards these days, just, it's like we think happy things from Santa Claus, those are thought forms. People are scared of Ouija boards, that it attracts the sucky spirits at the corner of Akashic and Karma, and they look at each other and go, "Hey, Sid, there's another one." There are other tools you can use besides Ouija boards, angel boards. Please, kids, don't use them. There are lots of other things they could do for you, what they do. I've seen the meme where someone has a big Ouija board rug and they're letting the Roomba go. No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, there's nothing to be scared of with tarot cards. It's ink on paper. It is how you learn to use them. But because Ouija boards are so misused, it's better just to put them aside and find something that you can clearly put your good solid energy into that is neutral from the get-go. End of soapbox.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, I had a bad experience with them, but I know people that swear by them. I don't judge. I live and let live. I have made you sit there for almost an hour with a back that's been acting up. So I love you and respect you, and I'm so happy that you spent an hour with me. Before I say goodbye to you, all the
Mhm,
people out there right now that are just, and a lot of them are sensitive intuitives,
mhm.
a little advice on how people can find a way to cope a little bit better with how scary the world seems to be right now.
Well, all right, for that, I'm putting my Rev collar on. Couple things. Number one, always ask yourself three questions. What am I X about? Scared, angry, depressed. Why am I X about that? And the magic question we never ask ourselves, what do I think would happen if I stopped being X about that? When we do not allow scared, angry, depressed to stop us, we can move things forward. You volunteered to be here, my lovelies, in the middle of all of this because you've got something useful in you to light a candle, to feed someone, to heal someone, to hold someone's hand in the dark. And you don't have to be, it's like there are too many intuitives out there who are so impressed with themselves they think their aura don't stink. Don't be one of them. We are God's head, hands, and heart on earth. It's one of the reasons we're here. So if you're here, you reach out, you heal, you feed, you get someone to laugh, and you realize nobody died and made you God. You don't have to fix all of it. But you're here because on some level, your soul said there's stuff we can learn and there's things we can do for others. That's why you're here.
Corby, if I was there, I'd give you a big hug and a kiss and a cat treat to your cat. Thank you so much
They like chicken.
for
Bring chicken next time.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us for an hour. Did you have fun? Will you come back sometime?
Had a blast. Absolutely. I'd be happy to come back.
You have a wonderful remainder to your Monday evening, and thank you so much. I'll be in touch.
My pleasure, my friend. Be well and be safe.
Good night. God bless you. I had fun, so I am going to ask her back, and I'm confident she'll say yes. What an incredible person. I love her. Corbie Mitleid. CORBIE MITLEID, oneword.com. Check out her website. She's got fabulous books there. You can book a reading with her, a session with her, if you will. I will be here this Friday, June 17th. Get your passports ready. We are headed to the most haunted country in the world. Where do you think that is? Wow, you guys are good. You're absolutely right. London, England. It'll be London after midnight with my very special guest. He is the founder of Essex Ghost Investigations, Mr. David Cook, live from London, England. This Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific. Who do I want to thank? I want to thank my co producers, Zach Clayton and Adrian Hart. I want to thank Things Network. I want to thank Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. I want to thank Skeleton Key Network. I want to thank Pact, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, all for simulcasting my show. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Like I said before, I don't have a show without you all. So God bless each and every one of you. You're all on the guest list, and a lot of you don't know this, but every time a show is over, I light a candle for all of you, my paranormal ministry family, and it burns until it burns out. On that note, have a blessed week, guys. I'll see you all literally Friday. Good night, Jack. Good night, Danny. Good night, dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless you all. Peace.